Good morning. So what happens when you go to a diabetic clinic? Now we're going to discuss. And why do I always talk outside? We'll be right back to discuss these questions of the mind, which really aren't questions of the mind, but we'll be right back. Okay, so you've been told you need to go to a diabetic clinic. What goes on at a diabetic clinic? Well, do you need to be nervous or worried about it? Well, of course you don't. Excuse me. Oh, here we go. A diabetic clinic is usually just a place where you will meet with a nurse, and the nurse will go over and check your technique. Now, if you just listened to my last video, you know that for us older diabetics that we're stubborn and say, well, I don't need to be taught anything. Well, you do pick up bad habits. And you need to be able to be make sure that you're getting your best results possible. Sorry, I had a brain freeze there for not a brain freeze, but so it's important that the first thing you do is to make sure that you are recording your blood sugars. They're going to need to see if there's any sort of pattern and what you can try differently. It's not a complete science. So, they need as much information. It doesn't need to be in a big fancy book. I know years ago I did a binder, and I used to write down every little thing, and I'd have information in there, but then I lost my ability to print off stuff, and so it went by the wayside. Nowadays, the pump, everything you do is on the pump. So that's a positive. But you want to make sure that you have a list. It could be a sheet of paper with lines drawn on it. It could be a book from the drugstore. It can be many different things. It doesn't have to be, as long as it can be legible. If you have one where your glucometer keeps the record of it, that's great too. But you need to have your blood sugars written down. You need to do your blood sugars. Now, if you're a type 1, that definitely means you need to do a blood sugar early, or you need to do it at least 4 times a day. So, your doctor will also give you some blood work. And it's important that you go and get this blood work done. Usually so they can see how things have been going, if your body's doing what it's supposed to with the insulin, that sort of thing. They just want to ensure that things are always, sorry, garbage truck went by, being taken care of. Now, what does that mean for you? Well, it means that you walk into the lab of your choosing. They will take a blood sample. Depending on what your doctor's ordered, it could be a big blood sample or it could just be a small one. Now, we're going to do a few bumps here. You want to ensure that these are completed before the day of your test. You know, your doctor knows what the diabetic clinic is going to want. If you don't get any requisition, well, then you're safe. But the nurse will probably have requisitions for you after. I know the one I go to, you walk in there, and you are or my pump is red. They take the pump and they will read it, and that way we would be able to see what I've done. And then you will wait. Now, if it's anything like mine, you'll wait a few minutes. And depending on who's before you and how complicated they are, and I know for a fact that with me, I've gone into a low blood sugar while I'm there, and I end up staying there until my blood sugar goes up. It's just something that has to be done. Now, a lot of places or a lot of clinics, you will see your doctor there too. And your doctor will go over the blood tests and discuss, okay, well, you need we're talking that maybe. Now, anyone who works in these clinics have a rating, and the rating is CDE. And I know some of you are saying, what the hell is CDE? Certified Diabetes Educator. So they've been taught, they know what to look for. You shouldn't go in there and say, well, I need to do this and I need to do that, and I'm not going to change it till I see my doctor. Well, your doctor has put you there. And when you meet with your nurse, a lot of times they're going to say, well, they told me to do this, and then next time they told me to do that. And I said it at the outskirts of this message is diabetes is not a complete science. What works for one person may not work for another. So there may be some testing on, what the best method for you is. But you'll usually sit down, and most appointments can be anywhere from 15-20 minutes to an hour. If you are utilizing the pump, then you are looking at to be an hour. And she'll go over and discuss your sugars and what you've been doing and what could be a step that you take, and all the good stuff. So the next thing we're going to do is you're going to see a dietitian. And the dietitian, if this is going to be your first time, the dietitian may want you to bring food logs. And what is a food log? Well, a food log basically has a down of everything that you have eaten in the past, I don't know, could be 2 days, could be 3 days actually. And this pretty well can be utilized to come up with meal plans for you. This one's it. So you want to ensure that you complete these. They want to see if your carb ratios are working correctly and information like that. What is talked about will be conveyed to your doctor. And this again isn't sort of like, oh, you've been very bad. It's to help. It's amazing. If you've been running high and they get you back on track, you're going to feel better. Sorry. I got to get him untangled. Okay, we got Nico ready now. And, like I was saying, it was not that they want to catch you doing something wrong. It's how can we improve? And your doctor will send them a letter telling exactly, what's been going on and what you need to be done. And then you're pretty well go on your way. If you're having problems getting your insulin or any other medication that helps, then but don't go with a negative frame of mind, because if you do, things aren't going to work out the best for you. Now, I know I talked about before, people say, oh yeah, I went, didn't do anything. Well, it's your practice. And it's what you really need to do and what you can put into it. If your doctor asks you to do something, then if you don't do it, who's at fault? Oh, I've heard it so often. Oh, well, I tried to, they told me to do this and it didn't work. Well, did you really try it? Well, I don't know. And, you discover, no, they didn't really do it. So, you want to ensure that you follow through with any ideas they have. And if they don't work and you've honestly, put through and, went wholeheartedly and you did it, well, great. But if you haven't, then, it's your fault. Now, you could also go around and if you've done your best. And it does no good going to these clinics and lying. If you have a high blood sugar one day, they totally will expect that. Oh, sorry, I have itchy nose. Right there. They don't expect totally even blood sugars. Now, there's another misconception about diabetic clinics, and only diabetics who are bad diabetics go there. Well, I follow everything my doctor says and, plans and everything. But, things don't work out. But if I know in my mind that I have tried and done things, then I can honestly say, well, yes, I did try it. But if I haven't and I messed up, I tell them I've messed up. Diabetic clinics can give you the intensity that you need to follow. But, it's not a policing force. It's give and take. And I don't mean that, okay, well, if you do this, my blood sugars will go perfect. They may say, well, I don't need to see you until a couple of months. But it could be, well, I see you're having a little trouble. Why don't you come back and see us? It allows the flexibility of you and your doctor. Don't assume that you're being sent there as a negative. You want to ensure that taking care of diabetes is always a learning tool. And you want to ensure that as a learning tool, you do the best you can and help. Because just going to the doctor and saying, well, my blood sugars are out of control, fix it, isn't going to help. You're not going to get the answers that you need. And so often, I've seen it before. Now, while you're there could be diabetes classes going on there. Just a sec. There could be different types being educated there. There could be type 1, brand new diabetics. There was type 2. And there could be gestational. Or there could be some that they claim now there could be both types. Sorry, got you back. So, go be educated. Learn about new techniques. A lot of times, if you don't have a glucometer, they'll give you a glucometer. But be truthful. Follow what they say. Keep records. While there is no cure for diabetes 1, 2, or gestational, you can get along much better if you help out. And that's the main part of today's video. Make sure that you are helping out. I guess we could have tied the two together in yesterday's, not yesterday's, my last video there, but I think that different aspects of your care now, the diabetes workshop, or however you want to say it, is and will be, sorry, putting on the gloves, all that's better, will be trying to, are you doing something wrong? Which is a possibility. I was, for a while there, taking blood tests and doing stuff wrong, and I was counting carbs wrong for a while there, and they helped me see. So, it's not a negative all the time. It's if you go in there with a good attitude, you're going to get a whole bunch out. Now, a lot of people will say, well, why should I go in there with a good attitude? Damn it. I know everything there is. I've been having it for 30, 40 years. Actually, it is 40 years this year. It was 40 years, October 7th. I'm on my next 40. 1977, 30, 40 years I've been a diabetic. And it hasn't been easy all the time. And, they've helped me along the way. So, if you're being asked to go to diabetes clinic, it's not because your doctor thinks that you're failing. And, you know, go in it as a learning experience. And, you know, I recently just had to go through a trainer from the Dog Society that gave me an eco. We recently had to go through and get a checkup and make sure that we did everything correctly. Don't hold out. Do what you have to do. Anyway, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye now. I forgot to mention, I was going to say, why do I do this outside? I would love to have a place where I could have a studio. But I can't, and now, especially with Mom living at home with me, it's kind of hard. But that's why I'm outside doing it all the time. And if there's days that go on and you don't hear from me, well, that's why. So today's cold but dry, so that's why I'm out doing as many as I can today. Okay, so have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye now.